Coming at you from the Hot Hammer Studios today. On the last segment, Deez was busting my Cajones pretty good about not having air conditioning in here, so we're going to try to fix that. You know, Eldonzo, he just rolls with it. It doesn't matter how hot it is or how cold it is. You know, the weather's always good for Eldonzo. Anyway, we're talking about the OceanGate sub disaster. More of a boondoggle, if you ask me, because this thing was doomed from the get-go, was it not, Deez?
It certainly appears so.
So getting back into this, we had a really interesting article pulled up from the Daily Beast. We covered some items in that on the last segment, but this one, there's a guy named David Lockridge, who was a director of marine operations. All right? He was fired and sued by the company after he brought up numerous safety issues regarding the design of the Titan and its hull in particular. Quote, given the prevalent flaws in the previously tested 1/3 scale model and the visible flaws in the carbon end samples for the Titan, Lockridge again stressed the potential danger to passengers of the Titan as the submersible reached extreme depths. It's still unclear whether or not this design choice ultimately doomed the Titan. However, it certainly didn't help that the company seemed to forego a safety and quality assessment by the Det Norske Veritas, DNV, an independent organization that certifies and inspects maritime vessels and is considered a standard in the industry. This sounds more like a suicide mission to me.
Yeah, and there was even a guy that went on one of them that they did an interview with, and he felt the same way. And they also had the showrunner for The Simpsons. I guess he's gone on it multiple times, and he has said that all 4 times at one point or another they lost contact with their mothership. So
the families of these people should sue them so bad that they can't make another ragtag tin can to go down in the ocean.
Well,
again.
see, that's the problem. And there was an article I read actually this morning, I believe it was on TMZ, about the waiver that they signed. It's going to be up to a judge and jury as to whether or not they consider it to be gross negligence, which I certainly think that applies here.
How can it not?
Yeah, but that's their only out, because in the waiver, and this comes from the what's his Mike Reese, I believe his name, something
yes,
Reese,
the
Simpsons
showrunner.
Yeah,
was a show. Did you read this as well?
They did. They did a show where they had a very similar situation.
Supposedly, this was the last show he did. Was that Homer and everybody got stuck on a submarine at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah.
It was the last show he did.
And there was a boat down there. It wasn't the Titanic. It looks like it's more of a pirate ship, but it is oddly broken in half, exactly the way the Titanic was. And there's even a clip of them like where it says low oxygen. So yeah, a lot of people think this guy's a time traveler because all of the things that.
Well, it's not just that. The Simpsons are known for like foretelling stuff.
Pat McAfee has a video on his channel where they did nothing but clips of the Simpsons and all the things that they got right or close to right, and there's like over 50 examples, and some of them are minor, but it's still stuff that, like, how in the hell did they know? But anyway, now I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, well, we can get back into this Lockridge thing and kind of continue on that. So we were talking about, I think his name was David Lockridge. He was the guy that was helped designing the maritime engineering part of this. So anyway, they sued him. We just talked about that. He refused to greenlight manned tests of the submersible over safety concerns. Okay, they later sued him for disclosing confidential information. Obviously, it didn't work that he disclosed anything because people still got on this damn thing. Lockridge then countersued, alleging that OceanGate had fired him for voicing his concerns about the vessel. Lockridge's counterclaim states he used an inspection report that identified numerous issues that posed serious safety concerns and offered corrective action and recommendation for each. Okay, so he identified these issues and said, this is what we got. This is why it's a safety issue. Okay, and this is how we're going to fix it. So this guy's doing what they paid him to do, and they pretty much told him to go kick rocks. So when we talk about if there's any grounds, even though they signed a waiver, I think this perfectly illustrates that there is grounds for them to sue him and shut them down.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that was the point I was making, as Reese was talking about the waiver. On the first page alone, it mentions death 3 times. As far as,
that's negligence.
Risk is. Oh, I agree. I mean, I think any jury out there is going to say that, yeah, with all the corners that they cut, there's no way that there wasn't gross negligence
I
here.
can guarantee you right now, from being in the safety and quality, I wouldn't say industry, but being a safety and quality guy in manufacturing and industrial applications, they're going to sue him.
Yeah.
They're not going to get out of this. They can't do it. They got a paper trail for it.
The only thing that might be the, for lack of better word, saving grace for this Ocean Gate is that the people suing them, I mean, they're all stupid rich anyway. We had the richest person in Pakistan. We had
not anymore.
Well, yeah. Well, he's still got family, so
he's still got family.
The money's going somewhere.
We feel bad for the family. Look, these guys they had a lot of money. They wanted to go on an adventure.
Look, they wanted a Titanic experience, and that's exactly what they got.
They did. They are now part of the Titanic.
Yeah, they wanted
experience.
to see the Titanic, and now they're a part of it.
No, I feel bad for the families. I do.
Absolutely.
Anytime a life is lost, that's horrible. But once again, this is play stupid games, win stupid prizes here. All right, now I don't know if these guys were hoodwinked and told this submersible was the best thing in the world. Obviously, these guys were not submersible builders themselves, or they probably would have looked at it and known.
Well, there is a rich guy, I can't remember his name, but a rich guy out in California who was supposed to go with his son on this trip.
And he backed out.
And the reason the guy Stockton was texting him, and the text messages are shown, I believe it's on the New York Post, where the kid or the guy's son was told by a friend of his that, oh, well, if a sea creature like a whale or a giant squid attacks it, and the guy in text message is like, no, this is, as safe as crossing the street. The thing won't fit in a whale's mouth, blah, blah, blah. But
he's blowing smoke. That's blowing smoke.
What he didn't tell him was that if so much as a pinhole develops in this sub, it is going to be crushed like a can. And that's exactly what happened. So everybody's talking about, oh well, we need to go down and find the bodies. There are no bodies. Those things were compressed into liquid.
So check this out. This is what really pissed me off about this whole deal. A lot did, okay? But this really got me. So Stockton Rush, who was the CEO of Ocean Gate Expeditions, he was actually aboard that thing, which
he was piloting it.
He was piloting it.
Yeah.
So check this out. He made this statement. I think it was last year, or maybe it was this year. Rush said he valued captains who are inspirational over experience, noting that anybody can drive this sub, which is, like Deez said, which was controlled with a $30 video game controller.
$40.
Right? Well, it's 30 right there. It's 40 now because everybody's buying them. Don't correct me on this show. Anyway.
I actually have one of these controllers at my house.
Well, good. Build a sub with it.
Right.
Go down with the ship. So anyway, this is what Rush had to say. Stockton Rush said this, okay? This was before he died. When I started the business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub-operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys, he told Teledyne Marine in 2020 via Zoom. He goes, I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. But a 25-year-old, who's a sub-pilot or a platform operator or one of our techs can be inspirational. So we've really tried to get very intelligent, motivated, younger individuals involved because we're doing things that are completely new and completely wrong. So this is the problem when companies don't go by meritocracy. And for those that don't know what meritocracy is, so if I go to hire somebody, like, let's say Deez does flooring, okay? I know he's very experienced, D&E Flooring, check him out. I know he's very experienced. I know he's one of the best in the area. I'm going to call Deez up. Let's say, Deez, come on, give me a quote for this. Now, if you got some 22-year-old kid that hasn't been doing flooring, I'm sorry, kid, you're going to have to work for somebody else. I'm not going to hire you on your own, okay? Meritocracy is me going with the most experienced person. What we're doing now is just like this jackwagon said, is they want to have people that are inspirational. We don't care how much they know. We just want a diverse workforce building this sub. That got everybody killed. And there's probably a reason they didn't want 50-year-old former military white guys.
I was just going to say,
you're out of your mind.
Yeah, do you think it's because he wants diversity, or because every time he talked to somebody that actually had a level of expertise, they said, get out of here?
That's exactly what happened.
I'm not getting in this tin can and going 2.5 miles below the surface.
I can guarantee you Stockton Rush got a hold of some of these guys when he was first starting to build this thing and said, hey, I got this idea. I want to try carbon fiber. And I'm sure Stockton Rush thinks he's the smartest person, thought he was the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, we want you to go down to the Titanic riding in a septic tank controlled by a video game controller.
And you know what they told him? They said, you can't do it. Oh, I'm going to prove you wrong, stupid 50-year-old white guys. I'm going to hire some young guys that don't know anything, and they're going to follow my line of BS and build this tin can that we don't even know if it really works or not. We don't do any safety checks on it.
I mean, it has worked. They've made multiple voyages on it, but still, like, it's just
I've got
luck. Let's call it what it is. They've been lucky.
I have a GMC Yukon that my kid's driving locally. It's got 287,000 miles on it. Okay, I could probably drive it to California, but maybe once. Okay, do I want to bank my?
That don't mean it's a good idea.
No, that doesn't mean it's a good idea. Oh, it made it down there once. We can do it again.
Here's the biggest question: how much money in manpower, time, fuel, all these resources that were used over the course of the last 4 days looking for this thing? Because 5 rich a-holes wanted to go down and see something that they could have literally looked up on Google. Look, you're looking out of a hole that's 18 inches wide. Like, I don't know.
I'm not going to knock these guys, okay, because they're rich. Good for them. They made their millions, whatever, okay? And somebody said, well, I'm white, but I'm not that white. Well, a couple of them were, Pakistanis?
Yeah.
Don't give me this. Don't make this about race.
That's the only one, the son, the 19-year-old son, who reports say he was terrified about it. That's the one that gets me the most.
That bothers me as well. That kid was just a kid, all right? Yep. He didn't want to do it, and he shouldn't have been made to do it.